Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about writing your own header files in C++. So like we include IOStream here, and IOStream has some functions, some functionalities. Those are already by default included in your program once you write hash include IOStream. For example, you write hash include math.h. For example, you write hash include math.h. So by writing hash include math.h or hash include cmath or hash include math, some functionalities or whatever functions are defined in math.h or cmath or math like power function, function for square root, all are included in itself in your program. Now you can directly use these functions. So these files are called header files or preprocessor. So similarly, you can write your own header file in C++ and then you can include those header files in your program. So how to write your own header file, that we are going to discuss now. So for example, go here, source files, add new item, and instead of adding C++ file, you can add header file. So now this is header file, and let's change its name also. So let's say name is first. Okay, so now this first.h is a header file. Now I can define this header file, which functions I want to include in this header file. For example, let's say hash include IOStream. Just wait. Hash include IOStream using namespace std. Fine. Now let's say I write a function here and function name is display. And display function says simple cout my first header file. Okay. And now what I want, this is my header file and I want to call this function display inside my main program, inside my program. So what I can do, first I have to include this header file. Inside my program. So hash include, and then in double quotes, because this is user defined header files, include first.h. Now first dot, whatever we define in first.h, that is the part of our program. Now I can call this display here. Now let's run it. See, my first header file. Similarly, let's say I write one more function here. Let's say another function is void message cout I am enjoying programming C++. And then next line. So how many functions you have? All those functions will be included in the main program because we have included a complete header file. Now let's say message. Now let's call message and let's check it. Let's run it and check it. See, my first header file, I'm enjoying programming in C++. So as many header files you want, you can add n number of header files. Now let's say I am going to add one more header file and let's say name is second. So this is second.h. I added it. Now I can define this second header file also, whatever I want. So for example, I define some more functions here. Hash include IOStream using namespace std. Okay. Now let's say I write one more function, void print cout learning headers and end line. You can write any type of functions written with return type, with parameter. Just For the sake of simplicity, I am writing only functions to print out. Okay. Now I can include this header file also here. We can include any number of header files, as many as we want. Hash include second.h. Fine. Now I can call this print function also here, because we have included that header file. See, learning headers, I am enjoying. For my first header file, I am enjoying programming C++ learning headers. So now here are two things. First thing is that you can include as many header files as you want in your program. You can write your own header file also. Second thing is that I can include one header file inside another header file also. Hash include second.h. So inside my first header file, I included the second header file. Now there is no need to include it here, because whatever second file contains, first also contain that particular thing. Okay, and then if when I call it like this, so from first header file it will fetch the second header file, and then it will fetch the print function. So now what happens, I can call print function here, or I can call print function anywhere inside first header file. I can call print function here also, because I have included second header file inside another header file. So what we have learned in this video, we have learned 2-3 things. First thing is that we can write our own header file, and how to include a header file, just go to source, right click on this, add new item, and instead of adding a CPP file, you have to add a header file. Okay, and then you can define your header file like any other header files, and you can write as many functions as you want in your header file, but main should be in CPP file. You cannot write main function in header file. Okay, so now you can include any number of header files in your program. You can include one header file inside another header file also. So this is about header files, how to write a header file and how to include header file in your program. Thank you.